metre kick. And so Sterling it is who finds it. About 30 metres out from the line. Jerd dummies and goes himself. Mosley to dummy half. He didn't rake that ball back with his foot. He was lucky to get away with it. This is Mosley. They're in the middle of the park now. 18 metres out. Sterling, Price, short ball for Sharp. But the Steelers aren't falling for that little short ball that Price is delivering to his second rowers. Here's Sterling, and now Wynn went without it. McIndoe slammed to the ground by Price up the top, Sterling down below. Smith, Sterling's around the legs. Mosley, one of them up the top, the other was Leabeater. I wonder how long it'll be before Money sends Paul Mayers into this match. Here's Taylor taking it on the full and scampering across the ground. There's Mayers sitting next to Graeme Atkins. Laurie. Steve Ella, of course, still in England. It's Leabeater. 10 metres into Steelers territory. Jerd. So the big men have taken it ahead. Now it should go wide. One more to the blind side for Mosley from dummy half. 5 tackles gone. Sterling, the playmaker, but Wynn has gone away from dummy half. Growth came bursting through. Leabeater's got the ball away through Taylor. Then Sterling gets his kick in. Stopped like a 9-iron. Illawarra, yeah, they've got it. They've got it now. But there were some anxious moments in goal. There's the kick from Sterling. It hit and stopped. And I thought for a moment Kelly had lost it, but he never, ever lost the ball. So everything was okay in the backyard of Illawarra as they take the line drop out. I just fancy Peter Wynn didn't realise what the tackle count was then. I think he took it one play too far. This is Hunt. Hunt getting through some fragile stuff. Mosley turning it back in for Sharp. Wynn. 18 metres from the line. Illawarra have been under pressure since the second quarter started. Sterling a run around on Price, and Price it is who's tackled. Almost in front of the uprights. Sterling back in from Mosley. It went behind him. Up goes the kick. Looks too deep for mine. Oh, he let it bounce in goal. It's a try. That's unforgivable. Stan Jerd. Stan the man has scored the try. This fullback has let this ball bounce. Sure, it looked like it was going to be too deep, but you can't take the risk. You've got to get it out of the kitchen. It's too hot in there. And look at this. And here comes Jerd minding his own business, scoring a try.
Under the new rules, Kelly would have been entitled to start the play with a tap from the quarter line anyhow, so he should not have taken the punt in any way, shape or form. Maybe he lost the ball in the lights, but we can see here the ball bounces. And the football, the shape it is, you never know where it's going. Back it goes to Stan Jerd, and he crosses for the 4 points.
Stan Jerd, the try scorer. They don't come often for Stan, but he loves them when they do. Conversion successful from Neil Hunt. 6 points to 0 in favour of Parramatta. Let's take a sideline comment. I think Graham's got Paul Mayers with him.
Thanks, Ray. Paul, the comeback. You've had no problems with the knee?
No, there hasn't been any problems at all. Everything's going to plan.
That's not the plan. That's going to make it a bit harder. Front row is scoring tries like that.
Oh, well, yeah, well, he done well there, Stan, didn't he? But there'll always be a spot later, you know. You don't know what's going to happen through the year, so.
Paul, good reports also. Terry Leabeater right throughout the trials.
He's playing well, Terry, yeah. I was he surprised me a lot, Terry, but he's playing great. He's played great throughout the trials. He's done a heap of work, so, you know, he's a good front rower too.
Well, good luck with the year, and let's hope it's injury-free this time.
Thank you.
Mosley to play it. Sharp. Sterling. Not a bad looking kick. It's straight between the winger and fullback, giving his runners plenty of time to get down there and make that tackle inside the 22. It's Mannix, isn't it, Bill, in 3?
Yeah, Max Mannix, number 3. He's a player that came from Canterbury to Illawarra, a player with plenty of ability. He's a strong young fellow. He's got plenty of pace. He probably needs to get a bit more involved in the match.
This man doesn't. Neil Hunt making a big run into the Illawarra territory. Sterling getting some attention from the trainer. Here's Sharp now. Midway 22, halfway, Steelers' end of the ground. Jerd. The smell of a try in his nostrils. Up towards the quarter line. One of rugby league's personality players. Formerly a garbage man with the North Sydney Council. This is Lee Beater now. Through to Price. Kenny's coming up dangerously, and he had the ball and put it down. Kelly with it for Illawarra now. McPherson asked to play it by referee Graeme West. McIndoe. This is Hardy. Most of his night has been taken up with trying desperately to keep Brett Kenny in check. But Kenny's been running so wide that Hardy really has found himself running out of somebody to chase. So we haven't seen anything really of the Illawarra 5'8". This kick is down to Sterling. He'll call on Growth to do something. Here comes Growth. Bang! There goes one. There goes another one. Talk about a man with the ability to bring the crowd to their feet. This fellow, Growth. Oh,
I think there are many opposition players that are glad that Mrs. Growth didn't have twins.
Yeah. He's done some things tonight that indicates that maybe he's back in full harness. This is Price. Oh, they're dangerous tackles. I hate to see them when a player gets bent back like that. He's all right, though, Price. Mosley, a little dummy, then he ducks in behind where the ball was. Sometimes as a hole presents itself there. Price went looking for it himself. He got it back to Mosley. Mosley's tackled just 10 metres away from the Illawarra line. The Steelers are trailing 6-0 as it spun to Sterling, then to Taylor, and then there's the first of the forward passes to be picked up by the referee. They've been throwing this very short ball, Parramatta, all night. It's almost a case of player A puts the ball on player B's stomach. It's not really a pass, it's a handoff. And gee, I tell you what, this referee's had some very ticklish decisions to make. In fact, that's the first time he's pinched Parramatta. McPherson finds the line, 10 metres on his side of the halfway. Michael Bolt, now Mackie. This is Smith, and they've lost the ball. Price comes up with it, immediately on his feet, and he takes another 5 metres of ground with him. To the left for Sterling, now to Kenny. Cut out ball, Jackson ran onto it perfectly. He left that ball a little bit late. No, he didn't. Not according to Eric Growth, he didn't anyway, and Growth is in to score. Growth scores the try. I think when you see it on the replay, you'll probably agree that my first comment was maybe the right one. When young Jackson hit onto this pass by Kenny, he's got players left and right, but he holds on, and then he gets it to Growth. And then Growth says, I'll get you out of this pickle, young man. Watch this. Crash. In he goes to score. Here's the Foster's Lager replay.
A beautiful ball here by Brett Kenny. Threw it into the hole and Brian Johnson angled back into that gap. He was able to take the pass. He was caught in a tackle by Carberry, but popped it up to Growth. And have a look at Growth's balance here. He drops the shoulder. He's able to get his legs out of the way of Kevin Kelly and go across for a tremendous wing three-quarters try.
Eric Growth, the try scorer, as you saw on the Foster's Lager replay. There's no stronger man in the game. There probably is, but they don't run as fast as him. Kick to come for Neil Hunt from 21 metres out, and he's about 2 metres in from touch. Look at that crowd in the back there. I don't know whether they're from Illawarra or Parramatta or Campbelltown, but I'll tell you what, there's plenty of them. Is it any wonder the general manager of the league, John Quayle, had a smile on his face like a split watermelon? Here's Hunt. Oh, I don't like that, Neil. You don't like it, neither do I, he said. Parramatta leading Illawarra by 10 points to 0. You're watching the National Panasonic on a Wednesday. Look at that grandstand. By the way, let me tell you that this is an unbelievable ground. I came down here last year. I was lost and found it. And I said to myself, how long's that been standing there? And quite incredible that it hasn't been exposed until now. Footy Tab apparently built it. Hunt. Michael Cleary would be proud of this achievement, I would think. Let's hope we can get some more games down here for the Campbelltownians or Tonians, whatever they call themselves. Here's Jerd. Parramatta leading 10-0 as Sterling puts a chip over the top, and the runners are coming quickly, and there's Greg Mackey cleaning it up nicely. Getting a ball away, but it's come to... Oh, this will be a penalty, will it not? Well, I thought it came off Kenny into the arms of Laurie, but the referee allowed it. And it's going to be a scrum. He's given the penalty. He'd called held, and then they went on with the tackle. A penalty to Parramatta, who tonight are playing the BHP Steelers in red and white. Sunday, of course, another history-making day for them when they run onto the new Parramatta Stadium against the other red and whites. Growth. That'll be a tremendous day, I'm told. A sellout, 30,000. Scrums and penalties. There they are. 7-4 the penalties to Parramatta. The scrums, they cancel themselves out. 22 out from the Illawarra line. 10-0 Parramatta. Sterling, Price the runner. 15 away now.
Parramatta playing a pretty simple pattern. They're just bringing the ball three-quarters the way across the field, and they've got the option of hitting back to a big back line or bringing it down the blind side.
That came off the feet of a stealer. That man came from an onside position.
Well, I thought the referee might have played a charge down there.
Well, the charge down ruling, if I can just explain it, Bill, it has to be... The ball has to be rising off the foot of the kicker, and I'm wondering whether or not that ball ever left the grass. But I thought the 6 came from behind the other, and it appeared to come off his feet. But the replay suggests the ref was right. Here's Hunt linking up. Kenny puts it down. Illawarra's got the ball. Thankfully for them. So it's the Steelers via Peter Smith getting out to the 30-metre point. Right in the middle of the park. And they stack up a fairly wide blindside. Big League will be out, well, it's out today, in fact, and a special pin-up of Ray Price to mark the opening of Parramatta Stadium. This is Worthington. Still going. Good run by Steve Worthington. Oh, he's lost it, though. And Hunt comes up with the ball, and he's over the touchline. It's going to be a scrum. This was Worthington running straight down the barrel of one of our cameras. He was doing good work, and then he spilled his lollies all over the joint. And Hunt it was who had to pick it up. So it's Illawarra with the ball, and a good run by McIndoe again. He's got plenty of speed, this fellow. It's his second long run. Smith. Taylor down injured at the moment. He got a smack in the face, apparently. This is Carberry. 6 more tackles, says the referee. Play just inside the 22 line. This is Mackie, cutting out one, finding Hardy. He holds Jackson at bay, gets it away to Mannix. Taylor back on his feet. Out from dummy half goes Brown. That's Seamus O'Connell, the number 11 with the headband. They're only 8 metres from the Parramatta line. Michael Bolt. Back in the top grade. Last time we saw Illawarra, he was being kept in reserves. From Worthington to Mackie. Carberry's about 1 metre from the line, but the Eels defence holds tight. That's the turnover. They decided to run it instead of kicking it. And now it's Parramatta 5 metres out from their line. Also in big league news for the Eels of a $300,000 Winfield. And that's even before a ball is kicked in the Winfield Cup. And of course the big league is now the only magazine carrying the teams for each weekend. It's out today. Mosley plays it just inside his quarter. Sterling throws the dummy, but he runs into Hardy. Tries for Grayson Jerd. 10-0 Parramatta leading the Steelers. Here's Sharp. Now Sterling. The kick looks good. Took a little straighten up, and the fullback Kelly is able to take it back. Met by Laurie and pulled down. Away goes McIndoe. 3 Parramatta players combined. Lee Beater, Laurie, Wynn. Now to the blind for Kelly. Cut out pass over to Hardy, the 5'8". Tackle by Hunt. Kelly. 10-0 Parramatta leading in the National Panasonic. Very close to the half-time break. And I'll tell you about our viewers' try competition and our try of the week, in fact, during the half-time break. Parramatta coming up with a scrum. Kenny to Laurie, a bad ball, and then Taylor looked to me as though he'd overrun it, and the ball lost by Taylor. The scrum will barely have time to pack. In fact, there's the siren now. Referee Graeme West acknowledges that. Taylor with a bit of blood on that right eye. Parramatta going to the half-time break, leading by 10 points to 0 over Illawarra. And we're back for the second half action. In fact, a half-time comment up in front of that very shortly. Welcome back. Again, as in past years, we'll be running our weekly viewers' try competition. You simply match up with the try the judges select as the best try from each match, and if you're the lucky one to be drawn out, you win the beautiful National Compact Portable Disc Player. And if you enter on one of the competition entry forms that are available where National Panasonic products are sold, you also win the bonus prize of a National 34cm portable colour TV. So all you do is nominate which try you consider to be the best in any of the matches you see, and send off your entries to National Try of the Week, P.O. Box 222, North Ryde 2113. Entries closed, last mail received each Tuesday. As we go back to the ground, Orana Park at Campbelltown, Parramatta leading Illawarra 10-0. Apparently 10,500 people came through the gates before they had to open them up and let them through holers bowlers. Parramatta 74 tackles in the first half. Oh, look at that count for Illawarra. 147. Nearly as high as the ground record crowd, which previously was 11,500 people, but well and truly eclipsed tonight. Change in teams. Let's check that with Graeme. Pick that up in a moment. I think we might have a sideline microphone problem as Peter Sterling is tackled about 34 metres out from the Parramatta line, and this is Terry Leabeater. Graham Atkins is on for Parramatta. Growth still there. It's Taylor is it Taylor? Yes, Taylor would be the man they've replaced. Remember I told you he had that gash on his right eye. Here's Wynn taking it ahead now. That's the halfway line on your screens. Sterling getting a kick in. And this is Kelly. Tackle by Price. Mosley coming over the top. They're back on their own 22 now. McPherson was looking to the right for somebody to run, but they're all on the left. This is Smith. It's a bad ball to give O'Connell. It's come down to Parramatta, through to Sharp and now to Laurie. Mosley becoming a very proficient dummy half runner. Jerd right in front of the uprights, 20 metres out they are. Sterling, this is Price, now Kenny holds it back. Jackson almost into an opening. Price goes to dummy half. 4 tackles are gone. They run one more to the blind side, and it's Growth coming to upfield, and on the 5th it's played now. They're 15 metres out. Sterling puts up the bomb. It's going to come down outside the actual goal line, and Illawarra's come up with the ball right in their goal mouth, thanks to Steve Worthington. This was the bomb coming down. Sterling probably making sure that it dropped in the field of play. And it's the Steelers taking it out. Well, Graham Hughes on the sideline now has with him Michael Cronin.
Thanks, Ray. Mick, I know it's a long wait. Where are you placed at the moment with injury?
Well, I'll go back and see the doctor again in 2 weeks, and then, so it might be 2 months before I know get the final outcome.
Makes it hard condition-wise. What are you able to do?
Oh, well, not allowed to do anything at the moment, but in 2 weeks' time, I'll probably be allowed to start training and doing a bit anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, it goes without saying what all the wishes are from the rugby league public.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people wish me well, but as I said, I've been very lucky, and it's just one of these things that happen.
The side was a little bit scratchy early on. Of course, they didn't play last weekend, but they started to put it together in that second quarter.
Yes, well, funny, I didn't watch Illawarra play on Sunday. I was probably a bit confident our Blakes would do it easy, but they came out and played a lot better than I thought they were playing on Sunday, Illawarra. As you said, our Blakes didn't play on the weekend. And the week before, they had a very easy trial up at Wyong, so it's probably taking a while to find their feet.
Thanks, Mick.
Oh, thank you.
There's big Paul Mears getting ready to come onto the field. Michael Cronin, I think everybody in rugby league would dearly hope that he makes a total recovery. Whether he plays football or not is probably irrelevant. I just hope and pray, along with all of you, I would think that he gets total recovery in that eye. So Steelers with Michael Bolt taking it to the 32-metre line. They're trailing 10-0. Fair bit of work to do. Little kick by Mackey. Hardy's coming quickly. Atkins has the job, and he does it well. Just outside his own goal line. Takes his time getting up, allowing players to get back and support him, and this is Growth. That's 6 or 7 metres out from the line. Peter Sterling, his mare's still warming up, this giant of a young prop, second rower. What's going to happen, Graham? Has he told you, Mersey?
Well, Ray, there is a problem apparently with Peter Wynn, and also on that injury report from half-time on Paul Taylor, he has a lacerated right eye, but also a problem with his leg. He's got ice for a cork.
Thanks, Graham. This is Ray Price now on the 5th tackle, tackled on his own 22, ready for the kick for Sterling. Charged down by Illawarra, effective too, and I believe they've got the ball, so it'll be play on. There's 6 tackles up their sleeve, and this is Peter Smith. That's 6 metres inside the Eels quarter. Try here for Illawarra would obviously do them the world of good, but it seems to me as though it's a necessity. If they get points on the board, prove to themselves that they can break this Eels defence. The only man to actually do it has been the winger McIndoe. Mackie standing, nobody wanting to run. Carberry's taken it towards Jerd, who pulls him down. That's the turnover. Illawarra have a man on the sidelines to come on too. Who's that, Graeme?
That's Darryl Crossland in 17, and it's another forward change also. That'll be for Seamus O'Connell.
Illawarra seem to get to the 6th tackle, Bill, and they just don't seem to know where to go when they get there.
Well, they were far too flat for the whole set of tackles they had inside Parramatta's quarter. In the previous set of tackles, Parramatta were working the ball out of their own line, and they had players coming from behind the try line to ruck it out. We had Illawarra, who were in the opposition's quarter, and they were virtually standing next to the man giving them the ball.
This is Mannix playing the ball after the charge down. Here's Mackie. Carberry coming onto it much better that time, more strongly.
Well, their whole set of backs is a lot deeper in this set of tackles.
Hardy. Mackie. There's a light stepper, Mackie. Hardy's with the ball, and he'll play it about 20 metres out. Carberry. Ten metres from the line. This is Worthington. That's a penalty. Peter Wynn was never onside. 2 metres from the line, the Steelers. Desperately trying to pick up their first points. Here's the replacement in jumper number 17. It's Crossland. Worthington across to Kelly, a cut-out ball. It seemed to touch the Eels. It doesn't matter anyway because upfield, Paul Upfield, the lock forward, has scored. Wide out. So Parramatta has been broken by the Steelers as this ball went along, and it did touch Laurie's arm. And Upfield picked it up and went into that corner. Here's the Foster's Lager replay.
Illawarra had the numbers here. Laurie put his hand to the ball going for the intercept, wasn't able to hold it. It went onto Upfield. He scooped it up and crossed for a very important Illawarra try.
Yes, well, there he is, the try scorer, Paul Upfield. Big fellow for a lock forward. As I said, it was more than just needing a try. It was practically a necessity for them to get points on the board and to grab an injection of confidence. McPherson's kick has got plenty of height, and it's just wide. As we see the scoreline remain at 10 points to 4 in favour of Parramatta. Ball taken by Max Mannix. Left Canterbury to come to Illawarra this year. Mayer's already involved in the tackling in jumper number 16. 17 going ahead is the replacement Crossland. And now Worthington, and coming onto it, Mackie. Had his legs cut from under him by Laurie. It was Mayers up the top. This is Michael Bolt. 5 tackles gone for Illawarra now. Oh, beautifully taken by Leabeater. He's put it down. It'll be a scrum. I think Leabeater got the shock of his life that he caught it. And he popped it out. And it looks like he's been winded. Just watching Mayers closely, Graeme. he got on the paddock. He's only out there for 5 seconds. I think there were 5 Steelers tackles made, and he was in all of them.
Well, he certainly was. Of course, you know, he's only got this match now to impress upon the selection for first grade for Sunday. Terry Leadbeater and Stan Jerd, I thought, were two of Parramatta's best in those first 2 quarters. There's no denying the ability of Paul Mears, but at least for John Money, that's starting to alleviate some of those worries he had right through the semi-final series last season.
There's plenty of push in that scrum, and Kenny loses the ball. Illawarra come up with it.
Illawarra playing with a lot of enthusiasm since that try by Upfield, and they always seem to go very close to getting the money without ever getting it, and I wonder if it's going to be another chapter in that story tonight.
Kelly to play it. Tackler was Atkins. Well, that's got to be a penalty. He doesn't give it, though. Kenny and Atkins were not standing back to back. Now the penalty's gone. Well, that penalty for Illawarra should have come one play earlier. So there can be no quibbling about that. Foster's like a replay of some of the action in the National Panasonic. Is the tap to be taken down on the Parramatta quarter? Another try for Illawarra would really bring us into a cliffhanger of a situation. We had plenty of excitement last Wednesday. We could be in for the same tonight. Crossland playing the ball 15 metres out from the Parramatta line. Runners going every which way. Eventually Hardy comes up with it. Price around the legs. They haven't been asked to make many tackles, but gee, he's made plenty. Across from Kelly, taken by Brown. Brown gets it back to Kelly. Kelly stands and pops it out the back. Mackie runs with the ball, looks to try and get another runner, but can't. 10 metres from the Parramatta line. Pressure for the Eels. Oh, Michael Bolt through the big dummy. Kelly came through. It's a try! Did he drop the ball or not? No, it's a try. Hold it. No, he's ruled that he lost it. Well, the referee was about to give the try, there's no doubt. And he did what a good ref should do. He took a look at his touch judges. I'm almost positive he didn't see it, but he got the mail from one of his touchies that the ball was lost.
And that was disaster for the Illawarra Steelers. Kelly beat the defence. He had only the try line in front of him. He went for the line, and there was a tap on the back. One of the Parramatta players got their hand to the ball. It jolted loose and negated any chance that Illawarra had of levelling the match.
Here's the Foster's replay, and Brian Smith's gone for a Foster's too, I'd reckon, looking at that. Well, look at the referee. You didn't see it to its ultimate there, but he was going to give it, and then he suddenly said, hang on, I'll go to my checklist, the touch judges. Here's Leadbeater, is it not? Jerd, Sterling. Official crowd 15,100 as Jerd makes a run up the middle. Mears to the halfway. That count, I'm told, was 10 minutes before they opened the gates. Another charge down by Illawarra. Well, Sterling's kicking game has to be questioned here. He knows where he wants to put it, but he's been charged down on at least 3 occasions. This time they've come back with the ball. Now Price and Laurie work it. Kenny holding it back and then darting through a little opening. Tackler was upfield, try scorer for the Steelers. Sterling gets it into an open space, and the winger has done well over there. Mackendo. This is Kelly. Across the line without the ball. Carberry. Only a youngster, Michael, but leading the Illawarra team tonight. Played with Souths. In fact, I think he was coached by Billy Anderson. Charge down! Heavens above, are there some of them tonight? Players are just not getting themselves into a position to clear the charge down attempt. Somebody's going to pay a hefty penalty in a moment. Played by Mannix. This is Smith. He's lost it. Got to be a scrum. About 35 metres away, a little bit less from the Illawarra line. 5 minutes from three-quarter time. Penalty to Parramatta. Arm down in the scrum against Illawarra. It's a funny scrum, that. It got into the middle of the tunnel eventually, and then it seemed to just lie there, and nobody seemed to want to hook it out. It was as if Mosley was waiting for the push to come from behind. See, Mosley had used his legs. He had nothing else to hook with. Give or take a couple of limbs. Here's Growth now. 10 metres away from the Illawarra line. Mosley is the ruck half. Sterling and Mosley work it. The number 12 is 5 metres from the line. They're looking very dangerous, the Eels. They're very wide to the right. And here's Kenny putting it down. Smith to play it. That's Brown. I still think that Parramatta are trying to do things too early on in the tackle count. Mackey's kick, fielded on the full by Neil Hunt. And they're back to the 32-metre line. That's a pretty dumb kick, really. All it's done is built pressure rather than relieve it. This is Sharp. Another replacement coming out for the Steelers. We'll check it with Graeme in a moment. Here's Mosley. He's lost it. And Illawarra come up with the football. Hardy. 14 is on the sideline for Illawarra. Now going on. Graeme, who is it?
Steve Larder in 14 going on. Kevin Kelly, the fullback, has left the field.
So Larder goes on. And Kelly comes off. Hardy. Is Larder getting a kick in? It's going to make the touchline. Very nicely, thank you, Steve Larder. And the Steelers at 85. Oh, this is the lad from Darwin. In fact, I think Manly were very keen to get this lad, Steve Larder. And the Steelers said, get away and get out of it.
Yeah, Brian Smith discovered him on an end-of-season tour that Illawarra took.
Scrum won by the Eels. Roy Masters would be amongst a very big group, I would think, of interested spectators via television tonight. Roy preparing the St George side for next Sunday's big one. And again, Parramatta put it down.
Parramatta aren't giving a great deal of attention to ball security. I don't think they can use wet ball as an excuse. They're just holding the ball loosely and pushing passes that aren't on.
This is upfield. Smith. Good driving tackle there by Kenny. This is Mackey. Five tackles gone, 10-4, Parramatta leading. Kenny being spoken to.
He's got to kick the goal.
The touch judge has come in. There's the Foster's replay of the incident. It's a double-barreled chat on Brett Kenny, who waves his arms as if to say, I didn't do it. So this kick for Wayne McPherson can bring them to 10 points to 6. There's then going to be 20 minutes of football remaining, and anything can happen in that last crucial 20 minutes. You saw what Cronulla did last Wednesday night. To put it bluntly, they had it and threw it away. Wayne McPherson can put his team at 10-6, and another converted try or a try and a drop goal would get them home, and he's missed it. Atkins is looking for the field of play and finding it. No change in the score, 10-4. And there's the siren bringing us to three-quarter time, with the Eels 2 tries and a goal, leading by 10 points to 4, with the Steelers scoring a try during that 20-minute segment. We'll be back in just a moment. 10 points to 4, Parramatta leading as we come into the last 20 minutes, and what a 20 minutes it could prove to be. $131,000 to the winner of the Cup final in June. It's the best way of assessing the value of this final 20 minutes. Restart by McPherson. Sterling, who's been involved in just about everything so far tonight, tackled on his own 32. Jeff Bugden's out there for Parramatta. He took the place of Lee Beater. There he is with the ball. Look at him, would you? He's in jumper number 26. And the reason he's not wearing 17 is because the 17 just would not fit him. This is Larder. Now Graeme is with one of the injured Steelers, Michael Patterson.
Mike, a very costly second quarter.
Yes, Graeme, we blew it a bit there on the take for Kevin Kelly. I think he misjudged it, and also we dropped the ball and Parramatta picked it out wide and scored.
You had the breeze also on that first session. I thought the kicking game let you down badly.
Yeah, well, the first 10 minutes we're doing it right, but after that we were putting it right down Paul Taylor's breadbasket, and we just can't afford to do that with Parramatta. You just can't afford to give them the ball straight away. You got to get a bounce where you can ping them down in their half.
Personally, you're out with an ankle injury. When are you likely to be back?
Oh, Graeme, I'm aiming up for Saturday against South Sydney. I've got an ankle problem. It kept me out on the weekend. It's kept me out tonight. But I'm aiming up for South Sydney.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Penalty goes to Parramatta. The Steelers inside the 5. Now, just while Graeme was talking there to Michael Patterson, you may have seen that last tackle. 2 Parramatta players, Mears and Jerd, had hold of a Steeler, and then all of a sudden Bugden realised they hadn't cleaned up their work, and he went in and he hit them, and the whole lot of them hit the ground in one hell of a rush. I'm glad I wasn't on the bottom of it. Sterling, Jerd, Sterling, Bugden, 15 out from the line. To the blind side for Sterling again. That's Price. 11 metres out from the line. Wide to the left now. Jerd. Armstrong, Tony Armstrong, former Shark, getting ready to come on. So is Graeme Setry for Parramatta, as Mears goes to within a couple of metres. Setry in the headgear. Across. Oh, Sterling was going to do wonders with that in his own mind, but he forgot the vital ingredient of catching the thing first. This is Larder. Now Hardy. They've got the numbers, but Hardy was forced back in field. McIndoe. McPherson is off. Armstrong is on. So Brian Smith, there's Armstrong in 15. Brian Smith would remember that Armstrong was the leading point scorer just 2 years ago. When it comes to kicking a goal, he'd be the best one at Orana Park here tonight. This is Atkins. Atkins bumping Armstrong off once. Here's Sharp. What are they doing with Setry, Graeme?
Well, Ray, apparently the man playing the ball there, Steve Sharp, was given notice of 5 minutes into this quarter. So we're just into that quarter now, 2 or 3 minutes. I think you'll find Steve Sharp replaced by Setry.
Growth to play at, 15 short of halfway. And that's Mark Laurie. Sterling. The kick is over the head of the fullback. I don't think it'll find the dead ball line. Larder's forced to pick it up. Mosley's coming down the ground. He's back into the field of play. Good effort by Larder, but a very good chase by Neil Hunt and Michael Mosley. Mackie to play it now. 5 metres out from his line. The Eels, of course, realising they're 6 in front. Their mission will be to play percentage football, which of course includes playing the game up your opponent's end. This is Hardy. Dummy half Armstrong. That's Peter Smith, hit by Kenny, got it to Worthington, onto upfield. Now it's gone across to Michael Bolt. Don't very often see a hooker playing on the wing, but that's where we found Michael Bolt. He's lost it, it'll be a scrum just inside the 22 line. Here's the ball being coughed up by the Steelers. So the scrum, I don't know what I'd like to do with that trumpet. I don't think this is the place to tell you where, though. I'd like to place it. Scrum won by the Eels. There's a gap around the side of the scrum base for Sterling. Oh, Kenny's overrun it again. They just haven't got their timing together, these two, tonight. They keep putting it down. This is Hardy. Bugden high, Jerd low. Armstrong. Mayers around the legs. Sharp up the top. Peter Smith outside the 22. 10-6 Parramatta leads. Mackie. That's Michael Carberry. Yes, Mackie! They're going to draw level. No, he's running out of pace. He's run out of room. He's run out of pace. And an intercept taken by Laurie. Laurie comes back to the quarter-way line. Well, the Steelers had the crowd on their toes. I thought Mackie was home singing ragtime here, but those little legs, they wouldn't pump out a tune quickly enough. And then they still looked to hope, and along came Mark Laurie to save the day for the Eels. They were going to put that ball straight down under the black dot. It was going to be 10 points all. That reminds me, I better have a look at the penalty situation. It's reading out at the moment 9-8 to Parramatta. So there's not a boarding house scrape of butter in this, whichever way you look. Now the Eels are back on the right tracks with the big kicks down the middle and then the big chase. Now Illawarra are 12 metres out from their line. Excitement supreme. When you look at the scoreboard anyway, the match mightn't have risen to any great heights, but when the scores are as close as this in knockout football, you've got to be hard to please if you've got reason to head for the cot at this stage. This is Jackson, pulled down by Armstrong. Price, Atkins. Atkins came on for Taylor at half-time. Bugden. Have a look at the size of him this year, would you? We'll get a close-up of Bugden for you if we get a break in this match soon. There he is. Have a look at the size of him. No one with the number 17 wouldn't fit him. Worth Circus Marquee wouldn't fit him. 5 tackles gone for the Eels. They're 32 metres out in the middle of the park. Sterling across the ground. Laurie's going fast. Worthington leads the race with Armstrong, and he boots it over the dead ball line. Line drop out. Parramatta sends Setri into the match. Comes from the Central Coast. Steve Sharp comes off. Setri for a long time, and I think he still is a travelling companion for the coach. There's the dropout by number 14, Steve Larder. Here comes Neil Hunt. Offloads for Sterling. Mayers is the dummy half. Jensen goes back in behind the play the ball. 20-metre run for Mears.
Mears has played very well since John Mooney put him onto the field, and I don't think you'll see him out of this Parramatta side for too long.
Price was about to give it to Setri. Pull back out of it. Mosley sweeps it to the right. Sterling with a field goal. Sterling with the drop goal takes them to 11-4. He's been in everything, as I said earlier tonight, Peter Sterling. They set this up nicely, Parramatta. I can see now why Price held back that pass to Setri. 11-4, Parramatta leading. Here goes Jackson now. As if times weren't tough enough with Sterling and Taylor with the blonde hair and similar stature. Now they bring along another bloke called Jackson. Seems to be almost a necessary requisite to make the Eels top grade, the blonde hair. Kick by Sterling. Mooney has said to him, just keep kicking the thing and putting it down their end of the park. That's all you've got to do, Peter, and you'll have done your job. McIndoe. As a winger, I think he's played well, McIndoe, tonight. 16's gone on for Illawarra, Graeme Hughes.
Graham Buckley, the former St George player, is on in 16, and he's replaced Paul Upfield.
Good player, Graham Buckley. Hardy wrapped up by Ray Price. This is Graham Buckley with it now. He suffered an injury a couple of seasons back, Graham. It sort of knocked him off his ambition, I think. Centre field kick by Max Mannix. Atkins has got plenty of time, but here they come. You've heard me say it before about Atkins when he was at Easts, and of course with Parramatta. Probably isn't going to win you too many matches, but he won't lose you too many either. He's a safe player. This is Sterling, a long cut-out ball that was forward. Penalty to Illawarra. Tap to be taken by the Steelers. Chance for them to claw their way back into this match. The drop goal didn't help. And that's Buckley. Just a couple of metres out from the line. Worthington gets it out the back. Carberry tries to get rid of it but can't. Need a wide ball to the left. Mackie knew that, but he couldn't get the ball away cleanly. Hardy is held about 11 metres from the line. I think he's parted with the ball. He has. Played by Graham Atkins. This is Setri in the headgear. 15,100 here tonight. Breaking the ground record. And that doesn't include those that they had to let in, apparently, before kick-off. So that's an enormous night for Campbelltown, and our thanks to a man called Gordon Allen, who's the development officer up here. He worked very hard putting this together. And to you, Gordon, and your helpers around here, congratulations. This crowd has got right behind you. Here's Alan McIndoe. Tackle in the middle of the ground. And away in number 14 is Lada. And he gets it away for Brown to try and make some ground. Peter Smith. 8-4 the scrums to Parramatta and 9 all the penalties now. Here's Carberry. Cup football hasn't been over generous to either of these sides. Little kick by Mackie. Atkins is there. The bounce didn't help him. Growth's gone ahead, lost it. Picked up by Hardy. So Illawarra come back with the ball. Parramatta, from memory, won the Tooth Cup, I think it was in 80 or 81. Carberry tackle, 1980, was it? Under John Peard that year. And now scrummers to be packed just outside the 22. That record looks like it's going to remain unaltered. Illawarra haven't beaten Parramatta. They've beaten everybody else in the league, but Parramatta in the history of the Steelers in the league. Here's Kenny now. Well, they look like they're going to win it, but there's no reason for Illawarra to go home and think that they can't reverse this result later on in the year. Here's Sterling. Here's Rington and Patterson to come into the side. Here's Hunt. Of course, there's another bloke I forgot. They're called S. Rogers. Ball on the ground again, and we've seen a procession of drop balls in this game. And a penalty to Parramatta against Illawarra for stealing the ball. Five minutes of the cup to go. Mosley to take this tap. Sterling, Jerd. Looking on the inside for Atkins. So Setri. Mosley to the 22 line. Now what have they got cooked up? They've got a big forward out wide, Bugden. Here he comes.
Isn't he taking some stopping?
Former Rothmans medalist. Kenny's the dummy half. Sterling gets off the left foot, swerves off the right. He picks up Ray Price, and Price is a metre short of the line on 5. Setri's the dummy half. To Sterling. There's Brett Kenny. Out the back for Sterling. Long ball, they've got to score. Yes, Neil Hunt goes in to score for the Eels. Neil Hunt is the try scorer, taking Parramatta to a lead of 15 points to 4. It was the old combo of Kenny and Sterling. Sterling summed it up with that long ball to Atkins. He simply had to draw and commit. And it was Hunt who went in for the try. Here's the Foster's Lager replay.
This was simply a case of Parramatta being able to keep the ball alive. Firstly, it was Kenny who stood in a tackle, shifted the ball back to Sterling. Sterling realised it was on out wide. He fired the pass back onto Atkins. Atkins summed up the situation pretty well, got it onto his outside supports, and in they go for a try.
Neil Hunt will have the rather awesome task of converting his own try from a very wide angle. Hunt's kick, it's successful. So a good kick by Neil Hunt, converting his own try. And the Parramatta Eels are leading the Illawarra Steelers 17 to 4. And the crowd coming onto the ground. I'm blowed if I thought it was anywhere near full time. In fact, the referee says it's not. Still 3 minutes of time remaining. So So the referee waits for the kids to get off the ground. They must have heard something that sounded like a siren. It might have been my old mate with the trumpet. Hunt to the 22. There's Jerd, Shetry. Only half Mosley. Now Sterling. Long ball out to Hunt. And here's Bugden. Passing the ball, but it's too late. He's over the touchline. And here he is, Jeff Bugden, getting back to his feet. Maybe New South Wales Rugby League has its own refrigerator when you look at him. There's an enormous push in that scrum as Illawarra win it. It's kicked ahead by the Steelers. Growth went across to tidy it up. Anxious moments there. Knocked backwards though, says the referee. That Illawarra player who gave chase was that winger McIndoe. There he is making the tackle on Growth, and gee, he's got plenty of speed, Bill.
He certainly has. He's a very pacey player. I think that he made the most of his opportunities in the first half. Hasn't seen a great deal of ball in the second half of this game, but he's done his job more than competently.
Jerd. Seventeen to 4. Very close to the final siren now, the official siren. This is Mackie getting away from Kenny, but running into Mosley. And there's the siren. This time, it's over. Parramatta defeating Illawarra by 17 points to 4. For the Eels, Jerd, Growth and Hunt scored tries. Hunt kicked 2 goals, Sterling a drop goal, and Illawarra, their try came from lock forward Paul upfield. So thousands upon thousands of people on the ground now. A history-making and record-breaking night for organisers here at Campbelltown at their beautiful stadium at Arana Park. We'll break now and be back. Bill will have the man of the match for you. John will have the footy tab. And I'll have the superstar points for you. That's all happening on the other side of this break. So welcome back to Arana Park, repeating the Eels victorious over the Steelers in a match that really wasn't cleaned up entirely by Parramatta until midway through that last quarter. Let's have a look at the National Panasonic superstar points. Eric Growth got a point, Ray Price 2 points, and Peter Sterling with 3 points is the National Panasonic man of the match as we take you now to Peter and, of course, Bill Anderson.
Well done, Pete, but Illawarra made your work all the way.
Oh, very much so, Bill. They're a very enthusiastic side and obviously wanted to start the season with a win. We're just thankful to get through with a win in our first match.
I thought that Parramatta looked a little bit rusty. Do you think you might have gone into the game a bit underdone?
Well, no. You know, we had a fair trial coming into it, trial series, but that's going to do us the world of good with St George this weekend. As I say, Illawarra were very enthusiastic, and I think we probably were a little bit rusty.
For taking our Man of the Match award, you'll receive, courtesy of National Panasonic, a video cassette recorder with infrared remote control valued at $950.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to thank National Panasonic and Channel 10 for putting on these awards. Tremendous way to start the season.
So there it is, Bill Anderson with our Man of the Match, Peter Sterling. Now let's check the footy tab result with John Croucher.
The footy tab fans were quite right tonight in going for a Parramatta victory, but as a result of that field goal, not too many of them were able to predict the correct final winning margin. The final scoreline of Parramatta 17, Illawarra 4 meant that there were only 23 lucky footy tab winners, each of whom will receive a provisional dividend of $751.45.
Thank you, John. Well, coming up for you on Saturday morning at 7 o'clock, we have the replay of the Commonwealth Bank Cup, the match between McCarthy Senior High and Blacktown High. And then on Sunday, our NEC big game, the one from Parramatta Stadium between Parramatta and St George. And here, talking about the match, is Ray Price with our Graeme Hughes.
Ray, it's nice to finally get back home to home ground territory and win under your belt.
No, yeah, well, tonight's win was very important to start the season off, but I think everyone had in the back of their mind going back to Cumberland on Sunday against St George.
Of course, it also must be a huge lift after being away for so many years. That's going to be a great weapon, home ground advantage in 1986.
Well, mate, it would be terrific to have all our supporters back instead of just the amount they kept turning up to Belmore. We gave them the best we could at Belmore, but now we're giving them better, and I think you'll see that by the fans turning out on Sunday. I think it should be a packed house.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Graeme. And certainly well worth waiting for, isn't it? That fantastic day that's coming up on Sunday. But then, of course, next Wednesday, for the people up at Lismore, we're taking the cup to you again. Canterbury versus Souths. What a boomer of a match for our number 3. I look forward to having your company, of course, next Wednesday. In front of that, though, on Sunday night. On behalf of Graeme, Bill and the crew from Arana Park, Campbelltown, I'm Ray Warren. Good night, everyone.
This program was proudly brought to you by Castlemaine, brewers of Forex.